Welcome to Cosmic Compass. Here we explore the wonders of the universe, planets, stars, and the mysteries that shape our cosmic neighbourhood. Today, we're setting our sights on Mercury, the smallest planet, yet one of the most extreme and fascinating worlds in our solar system. From scorching days to freezing nights, from its ghostly exosphere to its bizarre orbit, Mercury has stories to tell. So let's take this journey together and uncover the secrets of the planet closest to the Sun, Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system and the one closest to the Sun. At first glance, you might think of it as just a barren rock drifting through space. But as we'll soon see, Mercury is far more fascinating than it seems. In this journey, let's uncover Mercury's secrets, its dense metallic body, its scarred surface, the extremes of heat and cold, the fragile trace of an atmosphere, and even the strange way its sun appears to rise and set. Everything we'll explore today comes from the Messenger spacecraft, which orbited Mercury for years and gave us a close look at this mysterious world. By the end of this video, we'll have a clearer understanding of why Mercury, though tiny, plays such an important role in helping us piece together the story of the solar system. And perhaps, as we look more closely, you'll realize this little planet is far more alive with history and mystery than you ever imagined. So let's begin. When we think of Mercury, two things likely come to mind: its closeness to the Sun and its resemblance to the Moon. And in some ways, that's true. But Mercury is not just a dull grey ball. Look at its true colours, pale browns and yellows, faint but real. Unlike the Moon, Mercury is not just shades of grey. Its composition is striking, about 70% metal and 30% silicate rock. This makes Mercury more metallic than rocky, giving it the second highest density in the solar system, 5.427 grams per cubic centimetre, just slightly less than Earth. If Mercury were Earth's size, its gravity would be nearly the same as ours, but being much smaller, its surface gravity is only 3.7 meters per second squared, similar to Mars, though Mars is much larger. This alone tells us just how dense Mercury really is. For perspective, let's compare Mercury to the largest moons in the solar system, Ganymede and Titan. Both are physically larger than Mercury, yet their masses are far smaller. This comparison highlights Mercury's unusual density and hints at its enormous iron-rich core, which takes up much of the planet's volume. So, although Mercury is small, it is anything but insignificant. Its very makeup tells a story of formation, collision, and survival close to the Sun. Now let's look at Mercury's surface. At first sight it seems familiar, heavily cratered, much like our Moon. This appearance tells us that Mercury has been geologically inactive for billions of years. But it wasn't always that way. Across the planet, long scar-like ridges stretch for hundreds of kilometres. These are thought to have formed when Mercury's core and mantle cooled and contracted after the crust had already solidified. Imagine an entire planet shrinking slightly, its skin wrinkling like a drying fruit. One of the most striking features is the Caloris Basin, a gigantic impact crater, Sun 550 kilometres wide. The impact that created it was so powerful it caused lava to erupt and mountains over 2 kilometres tall to form around the rim. On the opposite side of Mercury, the force of this collision produced a jumbled, chaotic region known as the Weird Terrain, an alien-looking landscape unlike anything else on the planet. From its scars and basins, Mercury's surface tells a story of violence, cooling, and change, an ancient battlefield that still bears the marks of its past. So what is it like on the surface of Mercury? In a word, extreme. Temperatures swing dramatically. Under the blazing sun, the surface can reach over 400 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Yet in the darkness, temperatures can plummet to 173 degrees. At the poles, it never climbs above 93 degrees. Few places in the solar system see such staggering differences. Why such extremes? Because Mercury has almost no atmosphere to trap heat. It's too small and too close to the Sun to hold onto a thick blanket of air. Instead, Mercury has what's called an exosphere, an incredibly thin layer where atoms are present, but so sparse they almost never collide with each other. When solar wind slams into Mercury, it strips atoms from this exosphere and drags them out into space, forming a faint tail behind the planet. It's a fragile, ghostly reminder that Mercury is constantly battered by the sun's energy. And yet, despite the heat, there are frozen surprises. NASA confirmed that deep within craters at Mercury's north pole, hidden in eternal shadow, there is water ice. In the hottest place in the solar system, ice can survive, locked away in cold traps untouched by sunlight. This contrast, fire and ice scorching days and frozen nights, makes Mercury one of the most extreme planets we know. Despite its small size, Mercury has something surprising, a global magnetic field. Mars, which is larger, lost its magnetic shield long ago. But Mercury's persists, though, weak only about 1.1% the strength of Earth's. Still, that is enough to deflect much of the solar wind around the planet, creating a miniature magnetosphere. It's astonishing that this tiny world with its enormous iron core still maintains this protective bubble. It raises fascinating questions about how planetary dynamos survive and what it means for the history of our solar system. Perhaps the most intriguing thing about Mercury is its orbit and rotation. First, Mercury's orbit is the most eccentric of any planet. Its distance from the Sun varies from 46 million to 70 million kilometres, and it races around the Sun in just 88 Earth days. But here's where things get strange. Mercury has a 3-2 spin-orbit resonance. This means that for every 2 orbits it makes around the Sun, it rotates 3 times on its axis. A single rotation takes about 59 Earth days, but because of this resonance, one solar day from one sunrise to the next actually lasts 2 Mercurian years. Imagine standing on Mercury. You'd see the sun rise quickly in the sky, but as it approached midday, it would slow, pause, and even move backward before continuing again. A single day and night would stretch across 2 years of Mercury's orbit. This bizarre dance happens because near perihelion, Mercury's orbital speed briefly matches its rotation. For a few days, the sun's apparent motion freezes, then reverses before resuming its path. It is one of the most unusual cycles of day and night in the solar system. Mercury's orbit is also tilted by 7 degrees relative to Earth's. Because of this, Mercury only transits the Sun, as seen from Earth, about once every 7 years. When it does, it appears as a tiny black dot sliding across the face of the Sun, a rare sight that astronomers treasure. And finally, Mercury's axial tilt is almost non-existent, just 0.027 degrees. By comparison, Earth tilts 23.5 degrees, giving us seasons. Mercury has none. Its spin axis is so straight, sunlight never shifts far across its poles. This helps explain why those polar craters remain in permanent shadow, preserving water ice against all odds. So, Mercury's orbit and spin are not just quirks, they're windows into how planets interact with the sun's gravity and how celestial mechanics create some of the most bizarre rhythms in the solar system. From Mercury, Earth is just a pale dot in the sky, a couple of tiny pixels against the vast blackness. Messenger once captured this sight, and in that image, every single one of us, alive at the time, was there compressed into a faint speck of light. It's humbling, isn't it? To realise that from Mercury's perspective, our world is just another wandering star. So what do we take away from Mercury? It's a world of contradictions, small yet dense, barren, yet scarred with evidence of a fiery past, searingly hot, but hiding water ice in its shadows. Its exosphere whispers into space, its magnetosphere still clings to life, and its orbit performs a strange, elegant dance with the sun. Mercury may be the smallest planet, but it holds some of the biggest lessons about planetary science and the extremes that worlds can endure. And remember, this is just one planet. Our solar system is full of others, each with their own strange stories. Some we know, many we're still uncovering. If Mercury can surprise us, imagine what else lies waiting across the cosmic sea. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If you enjoyed this journey, stay with us as we continue to navigate the mysteries of our universe together. We've just explored Mercury, a planet of extremes, tiny but dense, scarred yet beautiful, harsh yet still holding ice in its shadows. And this is only one piece of the vast puzzle of our solar system. There are countless more worlds waiting to be discovered, and together we'll navigate them one by one. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe to Cosmic Compass. Let's keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep reaching for the stars. Until next time, stay curious.